get intoxicated to forget about what's wrong. If you feel like a sparrow who is fallen, you are not alone.
Whereabouts are you?
I am in Tupelo, Mississippi, the birthplace of Elvis Presley.
The king is the king was there. Yes, indeed.
You might have heard of him.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. I'm an old guy. I've heard of everybody.
You doing
What's
okay?
In Tupelo?
Oh, well, yeah, everything's fine. You know, just things are starting to take back off a little bit. I just got back from my first real tour. It was 3 weeks. And with the exception of losing my voice and having to cancel the last 2 shows, everything went great.
Oh, well, you know, that happens. The guy I just spoke to before, he had to cancel a show the day before because his bus broke down. So
there you go.
Everybody's kind of I think, you know, old muscle memory is coming into effect and things are getting back to normal, but it's tough going for some.
So I hope things are getting back to normal because, you know, when we first went out on that 3-week tour, the first week of the shows, the attendance was fabulous. And it was like more people than we'd ever seen. But
right.
Then they had a little hiccup and the news started talking about this virus again. And then the crowds went away again. We went from full capacity to literally 1/4 filled.
Man,
yeah.
It's got to be tough. Yeah, strange things happening here in New Zealand as well. We thought we had the whole thing beat, and now we're all locked down again for a couple of weeks because one case came in, and it was, you know, everything's kind of, now there's 20 cases a couple of days later, so we're all trying to be careful. But yeah, it's a strange time to be doing anything.
It might be the end of the world, so I'm just going to enjoy what time I have left.
Good idea.
I'm going to go hug the people I love and slap the ones I don't.
There you go. Fantastic. So you got a new record out. That's good. How you feeling about that?
Well, I feel good about it. You know, we actually recorded it at the end of 2020, right before 2020.
Right.
But when the pandemic hit, we didn't really see any fruitful way to put a record out. So we just kind of sat on it.
Yep.
And it just came out August 6th. And it came out. Have you heard it?
Oh, of course.
Okay. I didn't know if you heard it or not.
Yeah. And speaking of the King, you recorded it at Sam Phillips' studio, right?
I sure did. I recorded my record in the same studio where Elvis recorded a lot of his music. It's a lot of great mojo in that place. And I'm really glad I got to do it.
So tell me about the sessions a bit. What did it feel like in there and how did you guys work together?
Well, there's a young kid. His name is Matt Ross Spang, and he's a Grammy-winning producer and an engineer. And I approached him long before the record came out about producing, and we had some ideas that we shared. And we went in the studio and did a record a little bit differently than I ever have. And that the reason it's different is I never played guitar on any of my other records. My band played, but this time, every single song is built around my acoustic demos that I was sending my producer on my iPhone.
Right.
So every track is built around what I do with my acoustic guitar. Even the electric songs it's me playing the rhythm guitar, which is sort of became the foundation of the record. So it's got a different sonic feel, sonic sound. It's a little bit more organic than my other records.
Ah. And was there a particular reason why that happened, or does it kind of, like you say, organically just kind of work that way?
I always wanted to do something that was built around my acoustic guitar because I won't say I'm a great guitar player, but I do have a thing that I do that's unique to me, and I wanted to capture it. And these songs fit what I wanted to do. They were just right. They were made for my acoustic guitar, and my band played very tastefully, and just put kind of like they put the icing on the cake and make it really shine.
Yep. And from listening to your songwriting, you're very much a storyteller anyway. So you want to be able to hear the lyrics, right? And you don't want to kind of be fighting against the backing track.
Yeah, if you can't understand the lyrics, it's probably because your lyrics aren't very good. If you got some good lyrics, you want to be heard.
Right. And you do co-write a couple of tunes with a guy named Billy Maddox, including the track, the album opener, 2 Tears of Joy. So who is he and why do you guys work together from time to time?
Sometimes when it feels like the weight of the world is sitting on top of my back, I like to go fishing, never don't catch nothing. Well, I'm okay with that. I sit on a bank with some sweet tea to drink, and I breathe in the morning air. When I look at the sky and the clouds rolling by, I believe there's a God somewhere.
Billy, okay, I'm 57 years old. Bill and I have been writing songs together since I was 17 years old.
Cool.
When I met Billy, he was already a successful songwriter who had written a lot of top 10 country hits in the 80s and 90s. So
right.
he knew the craft of songwriting, and he shared it with me. And even though I don't consider myself a country artist, the way I write songs are the way you write country songs. They're short 3-minute stories. They got verses, they got choruses, and if it needs a bridge, it gets a bridge. But it's a real traditional way of writing, and I do like for my songs to be where the listener can understand everything that's going on, and I try to keep my language real simple so that everybody can understand. Kind of like reading a Dick and Jane book.
Right. Fun with Dick and Jane.
You know what I mean?
I read those.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, and also you have members of your family helping you out. Your wife is on one track, your daughter is on another one. That's got to be interesting.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, she plays music, and she's very musically talented, a great singer. And when she was about 13, she started wanting to write songs, and she fell in love with the Beatles. And she said, Daddy, let's write a song that sounds like the Beatles. And I said, well, darling, if I could do that, my life would be a lot different. But anyway, we wrote a song together called Sapphire Dream. It's just a song about unrequited love.
Jewelbirds fly under crashing velvet skies, and the blue rain don't fall on me. The sun is on our face, it's a perfect place, and the one that I love is here with me.
But I'm really proud of it, and she and I made a memory together, and she sang background vocals with me on the record. And it's just something that will never be replicated in my life, to get to do something like that. And the other song that I did, one called Breaking Up for Good Again, when I was writing this song, I was singing it in my living room, plunking around on my guitar, and I heard my wife singing harmony through the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, I asked her to come in there, and I asked her to take a verse. And so we swapped verses, and we came up with this arrangement that actually wound up being on the record. I asked her to sing on the record, and she was nervous, but she was so nervous that we built a 4-partition wall around her so that she couldn't see the musicians and stuff. And she and I sat in that little cubicle with one microphone between us. We sang into the same microphone, and we did 3 takes. And then the producer took the best bits of each take and made one out of it.
Right.
And so everything you're hearing is literally exactly how it was. There was no pitch correction. There was no anything. It's all natural, every bit of it.
I said some hurtful things I did not mean.
We both were fools. I know we need some space.
I'll call you in a couple days. We're just
Breaking up for good again. It's over, but it never ends. We both want out, and we both want in. We're just breaking up for good again.
And I'm proud of that song called Breaking Up for Good Again, because it sort of speaks to anyone who's been married or in a long-term relationship, how you love that person, but there are times when y'all need to take a break from each other. Yep. Otherwise, somebody's going to wind up in the funeral home.
Yeah. So what was it like singing it with your wife, though? I mean, those lyrics are fairly, direct.
Yeah, they are. It was perfect. When we sing it, we look each other right in the eye. In fact, I'm sad. I'm happy to say, September 21st, she and I are going to sing the song together on the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm playing the Opry again. I've done. I think I'm doing 3 songs, and one of them is going to be Breaking Up for Good Again. Yeah, and she's really nervous about that because she's not a professional singer, but she really can sing, and so it's not too shabby when your first gigs are playing the Grand Ole Opry and recording at Sam Phillips Studio. Not too shabby for a
good
lady
start.
Not too shabby for a lady that works at the hospital.
Where do you go from there?
That's it. Yeah. But there were so many magical moments on recording this record that I'm just so proud of it, and so many good people were involved in it. My band, Matt Ross Spang, it's everything. The stars really lined up.
Cool. One song I wanted to touch on was you mess around and get a buzz. You spent some time in Clarksdale, have you?
Down in Clarksdale at the Poor Monkey Club, they had cold beer and a clawfoot tub. I sprinkle hot sauce on some pickled pig feet. I started drinking and forgot to eat. You mess around and get a buzz, it could be trouble. You mess around and get a buzz, you see in double. You mess around and get a buzz, I know for sure if you mess around and get a buzz, you want some more.
Yeah, I have spent time in Clarksdale, but that song, Mess Around and Get a Buzz, it's a cautionary tale of the downward spiral. The song is talking about the downward spiral. The character in this song his life is in a mess. He's
ecstasy and crystal meth is never
ecstasy, crystal meth. Tweaking, hanging out with she-males for 3 days. Just all kind of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I can see that.
And, some people, I'm gonna touch on that. I've had not a lot, but a few people have raised their eyebrow and thought that me saying she-male was offensive. But I don't see that in any way, because when I was my definition, I know what they're talking about, but my definition of a she-male is when I was a kid, you could go to the fair and they had these things called sideshows.
Yeah.
And there was a she-male, and what it was, he would come out on stage and he would stand sideways and he looked like a man on this side, and he would sing songs like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and he would sing it in a man's voice, and then he would run across the stage, and on the other side of him he was a woman, and he would sing. And so to me, that was what a she-male was to me. Right. And so anybody that thought I was putting anybody down, they're sadly mistaken, because number one, I don't put anybody down, and it's not my nature.
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about, but of course these days everything changes, and people's perceptions, and
I'm over it. I'm so over it. I mean, I try to be sensitive to other people's feelings, but they've just took it too far, man. You can't. I mean, if you say the slightest thing now, even if it was just an accident, or the wrong word came out of your mouth, there's no more forgiveness. It's all about, let's just destroy this person's entire career.
Right.
I'm not down with that, man, because there's a difference between being vicious and meaning to be hurtful and saying the wrong thing. But if you make a mistake and you own up to it, how about forgiveness? Whatever happened to that?
Yep. I hear you. Yeah. Another song I want to touch on was Holy Holly Toddy.
Well, it's actually Holy Hotty Toddy.
Oh, Hotty Toddy. You're right. I can't write my own writing.
Well,
this happens every time.
There are friends of mine, holy hotty toddy.
I live in Tupelo, and an hour from where I live, there's a town called Oxford, and in Oxford, they have a saying. It's the way they greet each other. When they see each other on the street, they go "Hotty toddy, hotty toddy."
Yeah.
It's a greeting, and so once I learned that that's what it was a way to greet people. I wrote the song with a very simple chorus. It just says, "Holy hotty toddy, good God Almighty, love everybody." I mean, it's real simple and sing along.
Sounds like a Little Richard lyric.
Yeah, it kind of does. I'll take that. But anyway, it's a song about being all inclusive. It's a song about everybody. Hotty toddy is also, Ole Miss, the football team. Their rival is Mississippi State.
Right,
And they,
of course.
they're enemies and everything. And
Right.
I get that they're enemies when they're playing a game. But when the game is over, we ought to all, even if you're from a different college, you ought to be able to shake somebody's hand and say,
Sure.
"Good game." Be
Yep.
sportsman. Don't let it turn into real hate.
Yep.
A friendly rivalry, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, that's followed by the final track on the record, which is "It's Never Too Late to Call," which is the title track. And that was written about your sister. Is that correct?
You say you have parts that are broken from your heart down to your soul, but I see a jewel in the gutter. To me, you shine like gold.
Yeah, a couple years ago, my sister passed away from cancer, and she was a night owl, and she stayed up really late. And so after my shows, when I'd be on tour, if I wanted somebody to talk to, I could call her number, and she'd always pick up.
Yeah.
And when I would call her, sometimes I'd say, "I'm sorry, Deborah, I didn't mean to call you so late." And more than once, I remember her saying, "Don't worry, it's never too late to call."
Oh man.
And now that she's gone, I can't call her anymore. But just the memory of her being accessible 24 hours a day, and how much she meant to me, it really stuck in my heart. And I wrote that song. And there's other people that have approached me since this record came out, how that song touched them in different ways. Like there was a man and a wife came up to me after my show the other night and said that their son had recently took his own life. And they said that song, "Never Too Late to Call," really resonated with them.
Sure.
And they appreciated it. And they said it gave them a certain amount of comfort. And so it can mean a whole bunch of different things, because never too late to call, that's a big statement.
Right.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
And it can mean 1,000 different things. And that's what I want it to do, is mean something to the listener that means something to them.
Yeah. It must be very fulfilling to be able to talk to people like that and realize that something that you've written that means one thing means something equally as strong and passionate to another person may not be the same thing. You're kind of making those kind of statements for them.
Yeah, it is. And any song I've ever written that impacted anybody, it always came with a heavy price. I can write a little ditty every day, and
Right.
Bob balloon, but whatever. But when I wrote a song like "Never Too Late to Call," and I don't say this with any not even the slightest bit of arrogance, but I knew I had a good song when I wrote that song.
Sure.
Well, I know how to put a song together, but if you ain't got something to pull from that's real, it's just words. So
Right.
that song came with a heavy price, but it's one of my tunes I'm most proud of.
Cool. And so how did you learn to put a song together? Did you study?
Well,
Did you just listen to a lot of music, a lot of songwriters?
Going back to the guy you asked me about earlier, Billy Maddox,
Uh-huh.
he was the first person that taught me how to craft a song. There's lots of kids out there that's got talent, but if you don't have a mentor to help you harness and shine your talent and actually gain the skill that it takes, you won't really develop without one.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what's next? After you hit the road and tour, you got plans?
Well, I'm hoping I can quit when I'm about 70 and,
Good luck with that.
and do podcasts with a hat on.
There you go.
Like you. I want to be like you.
All right. Well,
I want to sit at home. I want to sit at home and talk to people on the web.
It's a good way to go. I'm closing in on 70, so we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, well, it's just, yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen. The reason I don't know what's going to happen is because, this virus has got the whole world in a state of, we don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. Every day is something new about one day they're saying everything's all right. Next minute they're saying the world's coming to an end. I don't know what's true, man. I don't know. I'm just doing everything I can during my 24 hours a day. Everything's important. Talking with you is important. It's all important. I'm just, whatever I'm involved in, I'm going to try to give it everything I got.
There you go. That's all you can do. Well, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you.
Great
I
chat.
like it. You look like, you got a record collection back there?
It is a record collection.
You got some records, man. I got some records. I ain't got that many though.
It's great until you move.
All right. Yeah, that's true. Well, man, I appreciate everything. And I wish you good luck with your podcast because you do a good job.
Oh, thank you. Good luck. And, come down around New Zealand if you get a chance.
If
Once
my
everything
record
opens up
blows-
again.
If my record blows up over there, I'll come.
There you go. We'll see if we can make it explode. All righty.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, baby. See ya.